Parents abandoned me at home while they took my twin to Taylor Swift. Day 5 revenge. A woman handed me a $120,000 check. Dad went pale and whispered, "How did she find you?" Sometimes life throws you a curveball so wild, you wonder if you've been living in an alternate reality. What if the people you called family, the ones who were supposed to love you unconditionally, actually saw you as nothing more than an obligation, a constant reminder of a secret they desperately wanted to bury? For years, the air in our house felt heavy, always thick with unspoken comparisons, a constant spotlight shining on my twin sister Chloe while I stood in the shadows. I'm Leo, 31 now, and I run my own basketball training business. I've learned not to let anyone push me around, especially not after what I've been through. My wife, Sophia, she's the kind of woman who can shut someone down with just a look, without saying a single word. Life has been good, solid. But it wasn't always this way. Chloe and I graduated high school on the same day. You'd think that would mean equal treatment, right? Wrong. So incredibly wrong. Chloe was the golden child. Perfect grades, academic awards, acceptance letters everywhere. Me? I played basketball. 4 years of 6 a.m. practices, a torn meniscus in junior year, grinding it out on the court. I earned a full ride Division I scholarship. I saved my parents a ridiculous sum of money, probably around 2,665 Australian. My dad gave me a weak handshake. My mom, Brenda, said, "That's fantastic." Then they immediately went back to planning Chloe's valedictorian celebration. When they called Chloe's name at graduation, my dad, David, was practically a professional photographer, snapping 300 photos from every imaginable angle. When my name was called and I walked across that stage, my friend Daniel's parents cheered. Mine? They didn't even look up from their phones. The entire night was one giant Chloe appreciation festival. The day after graduation, Brenda and David sat down with Chloe and asked what she wanted as a gift. Just her. I was making breakfast in the kitchen, and they acted like I wasn't even there. "You've earned it, sweetheart," Brenda cooed. "The sky's the limit." Chloe drew it out, finally saying, "I want tickets to Taylor Swift's Eras Tour for myself and my friends. The VP seats." My parents jumped on it. Laptop out, credit cards ready, looking up VP packages like their lives depended on it. Chloe ran upstairs screaming. Her friends arrived within an hour to celebrate. I just stood there, waiting for someone to acknowledge that I was alive. After Chloe disappeared with her friends, I had to ask, "Am I going on this trip?" Silence. My parents exchanged a look. Brenda cleared her throat. "Leo, this is Chloe's gift. We're just paying for tickets and driving them there. We won't even be attending the concert. With you along, it would feel more like a family road trip than something special for her." I pointed out how little sense that made. David jumped in. "Chloe wants this to be her thing with her pals. You understand how you two are?" Yeah, I understood. Chloe always had to be the focus of attention. I just nodded and headed upstairs. It's not my style to beg, but it hurt. 4 years of dedicated basketball, a full scholarship saving them all that money, and they were spending more on Chloe's concert tickets than I had ever seen, leaving me home alone. The next week, everyone was obsessed with the trip. I became invisible. The morning they left, my parents gave me the basics: $3.50 for food, emergency numbers, lock the doors at night. Chloe walked past me without speaking. Her friends were already waiting outside, dressed in matching pink outfits. I watched as they drove away from the front porch. By day 2, the house felt like mine. Daniel and the guys came over. We played games, ordered pizza, stayed up until sunrise. It wasn't Taylor Swift, but it was about freedom. Then, on day 5, a note appeared. 8:30 a.m. Something slid through the mail slot, an envelope without a stamp. "Leo, I need to speak with you about something important to your family. I knew your mother when she was younger. I'll return this afternoon around 20:30 p.m. Please do not mention this to anyone just yet. Sarah." Sarah, who the heck was Sarah? And what could she possibly have to tell me? I almost texted my parents, but something about the note, that strange secrecy, made me hold off. At 20:30 p.m. exactly, the doorbell rang. I looked through the window. The woman on my porch looked just like Brenda. Same face, same nose, same posh but younger, taller, and with blonde highlights. I opened the door slowly. "Hello? Leo, my name is Sarah." A slight Norwegian accent. "Definitely not from here. You look like my mother," I blurted. She flinched. "I understand. That is part of what I need to talk about." I let her in. She looked around at my gaming setup and the numerous pizza boxes. She didn't judge, just smiled. "Your parents aren't home. I'm out of town with my sister. I won't be back for several days." When I said, "Sister," she winced. Not subtle at all. "They left you alone while they took their 2 children somewhere." She almost said something else, then caught herself mid-sentence. I found myself telling her everything: Chloe's concert trip, My scholarship meaning nothing to them. Getting left behind, she listened, and with each detail I shared, her face became increasingly upset. After I finished, she sat quietly for a minute. Then she reached into her bag and took out an envelope. I came to give you something. I had planned to wait and explain properly, but after hearing this, you need it now. She handed me a check. 120,000. I just stared at it. This is a joke, correct? Not a joke. The money is yours. Consider it from the perspective of someone who should have been in your life. You said you knew my mother? She paused. I was her childhood friend. We grew up together. I lost touch after moving to Norway. We recently reconnected and learned you had graduated. It sounded rehearsed. Why just me? Chloe also graduated, Dark. I've got my reasons. Please, Leo, take the money. We spoke for 25 minutes. She asked about basketball, my college plans, and my family in this careful manner. I told her the basics. Chloe and I didn't get along. My parents always favored her. Chloe received attention, praise, celebrations. I was the backup option. Sarah's face grew darker with each detail. When I mentioned that Brenda and David didn't even look up when I walked across the graduation stage, her fists clenched. When I told her about being left at home while they drove Chloe to Taylor Swift, she looked sick. Sarah seemed to want to say more. Instead, she got up. I need to leave, but please deposit the check. Call me if you ever need anything. She jotted down her number on a piece of paper. Anything at all. She squeezed my shoulder before leaving. I sat there with more money than I had ever seen in my life from a woman I had just met. No one had ever believed in me like that before. Not my parents or teachers, just this stranger who resembled my mother. The childhood friend story was obviously fabricated, and that wince when I said sister. But I did have a problem. My parents were returning home in a few days. I wasn't sure how to explain any of this. I shoved the check into the pocket of my brown leather jacket. I wore this one everywhere. Then I threw the jacket in the laundry hamper because it needed to be washed. I forgot the check was still in there. A big mistake. The family returned home 3 days later sunburned. Chloe shared an enormous number of photos online. Nobody asked how my week had gone. About an hour later, heavy footsteps on the staircase. David opened my door without knocking. Brenda was right behind him. Leo, we need to talk. Brenda held up my brown leather jacket. We were sorting laundry and discovered something in your pocket before washing it. She pulled out the check. I unfolded it slowly. David's face turned red. 120,000 has been made out to you. Where has this come from? Why did you go through my pockets? Answer the question. Woman came by while you were gone. Sarah, she mentioned that she was your childhood friend. The color drained from both of their faces instantly. David's voice sounded shaky. Where is she staying? Not, what did she want? Where is she staying? Brenda whispered. How did she find you? Find me? Not visit. Find. What did you say to her? Brenda's voice was hoarse. Nothing. I just told her you weren't home. She handed me the check and left. Who is she? They looked at each other. Complete panic. That money should be returned. Why? She handed it to me. Because it's inappropriate. You don't take money from strangers. She's your childhood friend, unless that was a lie. I watched them struggle with what to say. Chloe arrived, heard the raised voices, and saw the check. Her eyes grew huge. Is it 120,000? David tried to move her back out, but Chloe pushed past him and grabbed the check from Brenda's hand. This is made out to only Leo. If someone randomly gave our family money, this is my money. She gave it specifically to me. Chloe's face twisted. We're twins. We graduated together. You probably manipulated her. I met her for 25 minutes. You played the victim card? She turned to our parents. This is just like him. David jumped in. If Sarah only gave you money, you should have said something to her. I actually laughed. You left me at home while spending thousands on Chloe, and now I'm the one manipulating people. Brenda's expression became cold. It was a gift for your sister. She received her gift. This is mine, Chloe began yelling. You need to divide the money. We are family. David stepped forward. You will split the money. No, flat. When are we done talking? Chloe exploded, screaming about how selfish I was, how jealous she was of my success. My parents backed her up. I stood there and allowed them to yell. Just waited. When they finally stopped, breathless, I said, that check is legally mine. I'm 19. I can deposit it without your permission, and I will not share a single dollar. Brenda became ice cold. If you refuse, you will no longer be able to live here. Okay, I'll leave. They simply stared. I pulled out my phone and texted Daniel, can I stay at your place until college? Family situation deteriorated significantly. The response came back in 30 seconds. I've already asked my parents. They said yes. My father will arrive in about an hour with his truck. I looked back up at them. Daniel's dad will pick me up in an hour. I'll be out by dinner. Brenda's expression shifted to panic. Lil, we can discuss this. You've just kicked me out. I respect your decision. Chloe actually laughed. You'll crawl back in a month. I have a full scholarship. I'll be fine. I went to my room and started packing. I heard them argue downstairs. David said I was being immature. Brenda said they should have handled things differently. Chloe said I was obviously faking. I wasn't kidding. Daniel's father showed up exactly 1 hour later. I loaded my belongings in 5 minutes. My parents watched from the window but did not step outside. Chloe remained in her room. Daniel's father looked at the house as we finished loading. You doing well, kid? Yeah, I'm fine. Their loss? That night, I lay in Daniel's guest room and reflected on the 19 years spent in the wrong place. I also thought about Sarah and how my parents reacted when I mentioned her name. The panic they were hiding something massive. I wanted to know what. 3 days later, Sarah called. Her voice was cautious over the phone. Leo, I heard you'd left. Are you safe? How did you learn about that? I've been keeping tabs. I apologize. I should have prepared you better. Who are you actually? There was some silence on the line. Can we meet? There's a lot you should know. 2.5 hours later, at a downtown coffee shop, Sarah was already present. I sat across from her. Start talking. She took a breath. I am not your mother's childhood friend. I am her younger sister. This explained the resemblance. She told me she was an only child because our parents made her say so. Made me disappear after I became pregnant in college. My stomach dropped. Who are you pregnant with? You and Chloe. I'm your biological mother. The coffee shop noise subsided completely. You are lying? I wished I was. She took out a folder. Original birth certificates, hospital records, adoption documentation. She spread out the papers on the table. I saw my name, Chloe's name, Sarah's name listed as mother. Brenda and David adopted you when you were 4 days old. They had been trying for years to have children. When I became pregnant at the age of 19, our parents arranged everything. They wanted both of you. Her face became dark. No, they only wanted one child, preferably a daughter, but I refused to separate you. Either you two went to the same family, or I'd find someone else. Our parents pressured them to take both of you. Everything clicked into place. Why did they favor Chloe? Why didn't they care about my achievements? Why was I always an afterthought? Because I was an afterthought, an obligation they never desired. They never wanted me. I'm very sorry. If I had known how they would treat you, I would not have let them take you both. I fought to keep you together because I believed it was best. Why give up at all? I was 19 and still in college. Our parents gave me 2 options: adopt or be completely disowned. I was not strong enough to fight them. Her voice crackled. I have regretted it every day since. And you've been in Norway the whole time? I moved there for work after college. We have been married 13 years. We have a son together. Your half-brother Liam is 11. I had a brother, an actual brother, who had no idea I existed. Why come back now? We reconnected with our parents this year. They felt guilty after all this time and gave me your address without informing Brenda or David. I wanted to meet you, but after seeing how your parents treated you, I realized I had made a huge mistake 19 years ago. That explains their panic. The $120,000 was an attempt to help fix something that cannot be repaired. But I wanted to give you options. I sat back and took it all in. My entire existence had been a lie. Does Chloe know? No. I wanted to start with you. You seemed to want to know first. We sat in silence for a while. Finally, what happens next? It's up to you. If you want me in your life, I'm available. If not, I will respect it. But you deserve to know the truth. I thought about my adoptive parents, how they treated me throughout my life, how it had never made sense before. Now it all made sense. I want to get to know my brother, Liam. Sarah's entire face lit up. He's asked about you. I told him that he had 2 older siblings. He has been dying to meet you. I'm going to college on a scholarship in 4 months. After that, I'm not sure where I'll be, but I'd like to meet you, Liam and Eric. Sarah squeezed my hand across the table. Thank you for giving me this chance. We spent the next 3 hours just talking. She told me about Norway, Liam, and how she had thought about me every day for the past 19 years. I told her about basketball and how I was basically raising myself. Before we left, she asked me to call if I needed anything. I promised. Daniel's family made that summer surprisingly easy. His parents treated me as if I had always lived there. No questions or judgments, just quiet kindness. His mother packed extra food so I could have lunch at work. His father took me to a Blazers game, but never mentioned my family, only basketball and greasy stadium food. To be honest, it felt like the first time I had breathed. Sarah and I spoke every few days. She sent me photos of Liam, updates on Oslo, and glimpses into a life I should have known sooner. Eric sent a message stating that any son of Sarah's was family to him. Freya even mailed me Norwegian chocolate, which forever changed my opinion of American chocolate. For the first time, I felt wanted, not tolerated. Desired. I deposited the check and saved the majority of it. I purchased a reliable used truck that didn't stall in the rain. I started creating a life for myself and no one else. College began in August. Sarah flew in from Norway to help me move into my dorm and brought Liam with her. My younger brother was exactly the child I had imagined, bright, constantly asking questions, and obsessed with basketball. "You're really tall," he said as soon as he saw me. Same accent as Sarah, same curious eyes. "You probably will be too," I told him. "We're related." His entire face lit up. "We're brothers?" "Yeah, kid, we're brothers." He clung to me like glue all day, unpacked boxes, inquired about college, and showed me photos of his room in Oslo which featured posters of Division 1 players. He said he was going to watch all of my games. Sarah laughed at him. "We live in Norway. Then I'll watch online. Leo will send me videos." Deal. He made me promise to call him every 3 or 4 days. I promised without hesitation. Daniel's parents also helped me move in. They took photos, brought snacks, and told me how proud they were. My adoptive parents didn't call or text. It was fine. I didn't need them anymore. Nearly 5 years passed quickly. Division 1 basketball starting lineup sophomore year, captain junior and senior year. Big wins, tough losses, and more genuine leadership from my coach than I received from the man who raised me. I graduated with a degree in industrial design, got a job at a sustainable product company, and realized I was good at making things that work. Sarah and I became close. She returned twice a year. I spent Christmas in Oslo 1 year and finally met Eric properly. The guy was everything a father should be. They took me cross-country skiing and pretended not to laugh when I fell 50 times. Liam and I maintained our every 3 to 4 day call schedule. I coached him in basketball via video chat, and at age 13, he made his school team. The kid had real potential. I was pleased. Actually, I was genuinely happy. Then I met Sophia. I was 27. She walked into my firm's office in a razor-sharp suit for a client meeting and quickly dismantled our lead designer's weak proposal before he could finish slide 2. I was hooked in record time. I invited her to coffee afterward. She said she didn't date coworkers. I mentioned that we didn't work together, were just breathing the same office air. She laughed. "You have 50 minutes to impress me." It took me 25. Sophia is fearless. She started her consulting business from scratch, deals with difficult clients by glaring them into submission. She grew up with 3 older brothers who taught her to stand firm or face the consequences. She was the type of person who refused to let life push her around. "Shortcuts get you lost," she said on our first date. We'd been dating for 14 months, living together for 7. When I proposed on a hike she'd been complaining about for a mile straight, she said yes right away, then asked if we could go get food because she was starving. We planned a small wedding for people who mattered. Sarah, Eric, and Liam flew in from Norway. Daniel was my best man. Sophia's family and about 32 other people gathered at a vineyard outside Portland, small, intimate. Sophia's sister Mia announced the engagement on social media, tagging us both and sharing photos of the ring and us together. The post was shared widely. That post reached someone I'd tried so hard to forget. 3 days after the announcement went live, my phone rang with an unknown number. I ignored it. Then I received a voicemail that I didn't listen to. Then a text. "Leo, this is your dad. We saw on social media that you were getting married. We would like to talk with you about it. We should be there. Call us back." I showed Sophia the text. She read it and raised her eyebrow. "No, I was not planning to." "Good. They squandered their opportunity when they treated you like garbage for 19 years. They are not allowed to show up now that you are happy." I deleted the text and blocked the number. That should have been the end of it. It wasn't. A week before the wedding, my doorbell rang at 8:30 p.m. on a Tuesday. Sophia was in the shower. I opened the door without checking the camera. Brenda was standing on my porch. David was right behind her. They appeared older and tired. Brenda's hair had turned completely gray. David had gained weight and his face was puffy and red. Both of them appeared to have given up on self. "Leo," Brenda's voice crackled. "You look so grown up. We hadn't seen them in 10 years. I look different too. Taller, filled out from consistent gym time, and more confident than I had ever been in their home. An adult who had established his own life. "What are you doing here?" "We wanted to see and talk to you. You are getting married." Brenda grinned. "Don't we deserve to attend your wedding?" "You deserve everything you gave me." "Nothing." Margaret's eyes filled with tears. We made mistakes, but we are family. Family forgives. I have family. They are flying in from Norway. You are strangers who showed up uninvited. Brenda looked perplexed. What exactly are you talking about? Sarah told me everything. I know you aren't my biological parents. I understand you only adopted me because you needed to take both of us to get Chloe. I understand you never wanted me. Their faces became completely white. Who told you this? Your sister, my actual mother. Sophia walked out, her hair still wet, wearing my old basketball jersey. She took one look at the situation and moved up beside me. Who are they? My adopted parents. They were just leaving. Brenda completely ignored Sophia. Leo, please, we need to speak privately. You can say anything in front of my fiancé? David looked Sophia up and down. Is this the girl you'll marry? Sophia smiled. I expected Leo's parents to be decent people. It looks like we're both disappointed. Brenda turned to face her. This is a family matter. I am his family. You're trespassers who have about 30 seconds to leave before I call the police. David's face turned red. You cannot speak to us like that? I just did. The clock is ticking. Brenda tried once more. Leo, we are in a desperate situation. The home is in foreclosure. We thought maybe you thought you could use guilt to get me to give you money. I actually laughed. That's why you're actually here. It's not because you care. It's because you need David's mask slipped. We raised you. I gave you a home. You owe us. Owe you nothing. Sarah has already told me about the trust fund. Both of them froze. Brenda became completely pale. Which trust fund? Sophia asked. The one my biological grandparents established for me and Chloe when we were born. The one that was supposed to pay for college. For years, these two had used this to fund their lifestyle. I'd learned about it 7 months ago. Sarah possessed copies of the original trust documents, showed me how my grandparents had saved money for each twin's education at the age of 19. Each of us was supposed to have access to 80,000 for college expenses, books, housing, and anything else we required. I had never seen a single penny. Neither had Chloe, technically, but while I worked part-time and lived on Raymond, she received regular gifts from our parents. A new laptop, spring break trips, and a car were all paid for with money I legally owned. My adoptive parents had been named trustees and had full access to the account, which they treated as if it were their own. David attempted to recover. That money was intended to help raise you. We used it appropriately. You used it to fund Chloe's trips and your lifestyle while I worked part-time to pay my way through college. You stole from both of us. We're going to lose our house. We just need help getting back on our feet. You should have thought about that before stealing from your children. What about Chloe? David attempted a different angle. She is also in need of assistance. She needs a dependable vehicle for work. Let me guess. You need money to buy Chloe a car while your home is in foreclosure. Sophia placed her hand on my arm. Leo, do you want me to call the cops? Brenda reached for my arm. Please, we will repay you. Get off my property. Do not come back. Do not call. If I see you again, I will file a restraining order. You ungrateful, David began. Sophia said, 30 seconds, with her phone already out. Mom, counting. Brenda was crying. David swore under his breath. Sophia closed and locked the door. You okay? Yes. Better than okay. Good. Because this is not over. She picked up her phone. 3 days ago, your father sent me a friend request. So, did Chloe. They've been trying to reach you through me? Block them. Already did. But Leo, they found us once. They will try again. Especially if they are so desperate. She was correct. And it worsened faster than I anticipated. We didn't have a honeymoon. I decided to save it for a bigger trip to Norway later this year. My boss called me into her office 4 days after the wedding. Leo, I have received calls from someone claiming to be your sister. She claims you have cut off contact with your family and they are concerned for your well-being. She's asking if you're okay and if you're being controlled. What's happening? I explained the basics. Adopted child, terrible adoptive family, severed contact years ago. They showed up and demanded money, now harassing my workplace. My boss nodded. Document everything. If she calls again, we will go through legal. Chloe phoned 4 more times that week. She started calling Sophia's business as well. Left messages claiming I had abandoned my family, that I was mentally ill, and that Sophia was isolating me from everyone. Sophia recorded every voicemail. Then Chloe took to social media. Long emotional posts about how I cut off from my family after they raised me lovingly. How I stole money from both of us. How I had grown cold and heartless. Someone tagged me, tagged Sophia, made everything public. Sophia made a single comment before blocking her. It's interesting how the people who have treated you the worst are the loudest when you finally walk away. It received more likes than Chloe's original post. My adoptive parents joined in, posting their own version, claiming they had given up everything to raise me, that I was ungrateful, and that I had abandoned them when they needed me the most. They left out the part about the drained trust fund and how I had been treated as an afterthought my entire life. Daniel called. Dude, they are going nuclear? Let them. Anyone who believed them without asking me was not worth keeping. Sarah called from Norway. She had seen the posts. She was infuriated. I can clear things up. I have documentation for everything. Don't. Not yet. Allow them to dig themselves deeper first. I called my lawyer, who I'd previously worked with on contract issues. Explained the situation, adoption trust fund, and harassment campaign. He listened silently. You might have a case here. If they misappropriated trust funds, it is serious, but we would need proof. Sarah has the original trust documents and bank statements for all withdrawals. Get me copies. Sarah overnighted everything from Norway. Original birth certificates, adoption papers, trust fund documents, and bank statements indicating regular withdrawals beginning when I was 19. My lawyer reviewed everything. Leo, this is clear. They were trustees who had a legal responsibility to use the funds for your education. Instead, they took out over $168,000 over 10 years for personal use. That is embezzlement. What are my options? A civil lawsuit is being filed to recover the funds. But I'll warn you, courts move slowly. This could take approximately 40 months from filing to final judgment. There are no guarantees on timelines. What do you recommend? Document everything they are doing right now. The harassment and social media campaign. Let them continue to dig their hole deeper, then overwhelm them with everything at once. Chloe continued her campaign, called my gym, called Sophia's clients, left negative reviews on my company's website, claiming I was unstable and unethical. Every action was documented, screenshotted, timestamped, and carefully filed away. Then she made her biggest error. She filed a police report claiming I had threatened her via text. She submitted fabricated screenshots of messages I supposedly sent, telling her to watch her back and that she would regret what she had done. The police called me in. I arrived with my lawyer and phone records, proving I had blocked her for 10 years. Metadata was displayed on her screenshots, proving that they had been edited afterward. The timestamps did not match up. The font wasn't right. The message bubbles were the incorrect color for my phone model. The detective appeared tired. This report is obviously false. We will look into this further. My lawyer leaned forwards. Detective, my client has been harassed by his adoptive family for months. This false report is only the latest escalation. We have complete documentation for everything. We are prepared to press charges. The detective sat up straighter. I would like to see the documentation. We handed over everything. Screenshots of closed calls to my workplace, voicemails from my adoptive parents, the entire social media campaign, and a timeline of escalation demonstrating how it developed. I recommend that you file a restraining order, and we will thoroughly investigate this false report. Perfect. 2 weeks later, Chloe was charged with filing a false police report. We filed the civil suit the following day. Breach of fiduciary duty, misappropriation of funds, and the recovery of the entire trust amount plus interest for both beneficiaries. The lawsuit became public record. Everything came out, the trust fund, the adoption, and how much they had stolen. Chloe's social media support dwindled immediately. Overnight, comments turned against her. My adoptive parents attempted to reconcile. Their lawyer called mine. They are willing to refund $55 and if you drop everything. No, I want the full amount plus interest for both myself and Chloe. They do not have it. The house is currently more in debt than it is worth. Not my problem. The legal process took much longer than expected, but it progressed gradually, and each new document we retrieved made things look even worse. Bank statements revealed that my adoptive parents had not only dipped into the trust on occasion, they had been sending money to Chloe for years, while I lived on part-time jobs in Raymond, her concert trips and trust fund money, her car and trust fund money, her credit card bills magically disappearing, as did the trust fund money. Everything I'd ever been denied, she'd given without hesitation. During discovery, my lawyer laid everything out. Chloe's sophomore year spring break trip to Cancun cost $500 and was paid for directly by the trust. My laptop being too slow to upgrade, which cost $400. New internship wardrobe cost $500. Every time I asked for assistance with basic necessities such as textbooks and winter tires, they told me to budget better. Meanwhile, they were spending trust money like it was monopoly money. It took approximately 14 months to reach judgment, but when it happened, the judge did not hold back. We presented the bank withdrawals, trust documents, financial aid records indicating that I took out loans, and Chloe's matching deposits. The judge glanced over everything, sighed, and stated, This is one of the clearest cases of fiduciary misconduct I've seen in years. The ruling was in my favor. Both beneficiaries will receive the full principal plus 10 years of statutory interest and penalties for a total of more than 345,000. The court ordered that repayment be made directly to me and Chloe as the beneficiaries. Chloe's share was reduced by what she had already received, which meant she owed money as well. My adoptive parents did not have it. Their house was completely underwater. They sold it, but the bank swallowed everything because they owed more than the value. Wage garnishment and liquidation of any remaining assets were used to repay the debt. They wound up in a cramped two-bedroom apartment in a neighborhood they used to mock. There will be no more country clubs, new SUVs every few years, or vacations they deserved. Chloe attempted to argue that she shouldn't have to pay anything back because she had received the money in good faith. Her lawyer claimed she had simply assumed her parents were being generous. The judge didn't buy any of it. You're an adult who has benefited significantly from misappropriated funds. You are jointly liable for repayment. As a result, she will also face wage garnishment, 22% of every paycheck until her portion was covered. Meanwhile, the criminal investigation into the false police report erupted. Detectives discovered texts in which Chloe and my adoptive parents plotted how to make me appear dangerous. They'd advised her on which lies to include, and even compared fake screenshots. Group chats outlined the entire setup. They all accepted plea deals. 30 months of probation, hefty fines, community service, and a criminal record that would haunt them forever. When his employer discovered the truth, my adoptive father David lost his job. Brenda had to get a job for the first time in 25 years. Chloe deleted all social media accounts and eventually relocated to Arizona to avoid the fallout. I did not celebrate. I just watched them face the consequences of 19 years of decisions. As for me, I invested the majority of the settlement. Sophia and I used some of it to purchase a 3-bedroom Craftsman outright. By the time I was 30, we had no mortgage and no debt. The remainder went into retirement accounts and Liam's college fund, enough that he will never have to worry about loans or part-time work. He'll have the college experience that I never had. He'll get a real shot, which seems like the best use of that money. Sarah attempted to refuse the college fund setup, but I would not let her. He's my brother. I take care of my family. Leo, you do not have to? Yes, I do, because that is what families do. Real family. She did not argue after that. 7 months later, I was at home with Sophia, having dinner when the doorbell rang. I checked the security camera. My adoptive parents are on the porch. Sophia looked at me. Do you want me to handle it? No, I will do it. I opened the door and left the security screen closed between us. Brenda looked 20 years older than the last time I saw her. Her hair completely gray, her face drawn and hollow, her hands shaking. Leo, please, we're about to lose our apartment. David is unable to find work due to the criminal record on his background check. We have nowhere to go. You had options. You decided to steal from your children. These are your consequences. David pushed forward. The security screen remained firm. We are your parents. We raised you. Sarah is my family. Eric is my family. Liam is my family. Sophia is my family. You are 3 people who took an unwanted child and treated him like garbage for 19 years. We only have one relationship left. Court-ordered repayment. We are truly sorry. David's voice broke this time. We understand now. We were mistaken about everything. You're sorry you were caught. Sorry that your comfortable life fell apart. Brenda took out her phone with trembling hands. Chloe wanted to try once more to reach you. The phone was turned toward me. Chloe's face appeared on screen. She looked awful. Unwashed hair, puffy cheeks, and dark circles under her eyes. Will you all apologize publicly? I will tell everyone the truth about everything. Please help Mom and Dad. They are suffering because they have stolen from their children. Because they made decisions and are now facing the consequences. This is how life works. Chloe's face twisted. You've got money now. You could help, but you're choosing not to. You are choosing to punish us. That is exactly right. I've decided to protect myself and my actual family. You're no longer my problem. I reached through the security screen, took Brenda's phone, hung up on Chloe mid-sentence, and returned it. Do not come back here. You made your bed 19 years ago when you decided I was not worth wanting. Now lie in it? Sophia appeared beside me. He has a loving wife, a biological family who chose him, a self-made career, and the peace that comes from avoiding toxic people. What have you got? A criminal history, wage garnishment, and regrets. I shut the door, locked it, and turned off the porch light. I heard them linger for a minute before a car door slammed, and their headlights faded down the street. Sophia wrapped her arms around me. You okay? Yes, I said, I'm very good. My phone vibrated. Sarah sent a text. Liam wishes to video chat. He made his school basketball team and would like to show you his uniform. Nearly 5 years had passed since the truth was revealed. Liam was 14 now. Tala, deeper voice, same bright grin. I grinned. I need to take this? I called him from the couch. He apparently wearing a jersey with the number 24, my old number. Leo, look, huck! You look sharp, kid. How is practice going? He launched into an enthusiastic play-by-play. Motion offense, screens cuts, his first three-pointer, and how his coach described his form as flawless. I told him it was because you actually listen, he whispered. Your notes are better than the coach's, don't tell him! I gave him a few pointers. Left-hand work, consistent release, and playing low on defense. He absorbed everything. This, with him grinning on screen and Sophia smiling beside me, was what family looked like. People who showed up. Individuals who cared. Sarah sent a message to the group chat. Auric wants to know if you and Sophia can visit Oslo for Christmas. His parents want to meet you. I cast a glance at Sophia. She nodded immediately. We will be there. I texted back. Outside, a vehicle drove away, my adoptive parents leaving for the last time. I didn't bother watching them leave. Liam was still excitedly discussing his team. I can't wait for you to see me perform someday. I'll be there for your first game as promised. Front row? Really? Really? This is what big brothers do. Sophia squeezed my knee. Sarah sent hearts. Eric gave a thumbs up. My real family, the one I chose, the people who chose me back. And somewhere out there, the people who had hurt me could deal with the consequences themselves. I had a future to build with people who genuinely wanted me in it. This whole journey, from feeling like an unwanted obligation to building a life filled with genuine love and belonging, has been insane. It makes you wonder how much our past truly shapes us, and when it's finally okay to say goodbye to the people who hurt you. I'm still processing so much. If you've ever had to cut ties with family for your own peace, how did you find the strength? And what advice would you give someone in a similar situation? Let me know in the comments. I'm genuinely curious to hear your thoughts.